around the NBA on this MLK holiday 2018. And we welcome you to Studio J here in Atlanta for the American Express halftime report. Ernie Johnson. Chuck's down there, Kenny's right here, Shaq is right here, and we want to talk. This is not your traditional halftime. We want to talk about something coming up All-Star Weekend, because the big fella here, Shaq, sat down with Kobe Bryant to have a conversation. We saw Magic and Isaiah Thomas, which was really good stuff.
Did he tell you he hates you again? When he traded you, did he tell you he hated you?
What was this like, man? Actually, was it different because cameras were on than just a normal conversation you might have?
Like, I've told y'all many stories, and you guys probably don't believe it, but our beef was sort of like a media beef. So his guy was Jim Gray, my guy was Jim Hill. So stuff was always said outside, but once we got on the court, even in practice, never really had problems. But it brought back a lot of memories. We talked about the good times, we talked about the bad times. And after watching the Magic and Isaiah thing, I reached out to Terry and said, you know what, let's sit down with Kobe. And we did it during his jersey retirement, when they retired both his jerseys, and it was a great time. And you know, we both realized that we could have did something different. But people ask me all the time, if I could change anything, would I change it? My answer will always be no, because the story would be more compelling if we didn't win any championships. We won 3 out of 4. I got traded, I moved on, and that was understandable. It was something that was needed, because Ernie, if you watch every movie that has to deal with, you know, the younger guy stepping up, you know, at some point the young guy has to kill off the big guy so he could become the man, and that's what happened in that case. And for me, you know, Jerry Buss was gracious enough to say, listen, you're older, we love you, you brought me 3 championships, finals MVP, but you're going to be 35, 36. I don't want to pay a guy that old 25, 30 million, and I understood that. So I moved on. But, you know, it was a great show, brought back a lot of memories, and I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll see it on All-Star Weekend. One of the clips we want to show you right now has to, you know, appropriately enough on this day, as we honor Dr. King, is the whole topic of social activism and who Shaq and Kobe kind of look to in that regard.
I talked to Bill Russell a lot, and about what he had to deal with and signing with the Celtics, and being an African American in that city at that moment in time with that kind of organization. And he used to tell me some unbelievable stories about things he used to hear in the stands, things that he would experience at home, and threats and things of that sort. The pay, right? Things that I had to stand up and fight for as a culture. And you know, he was a big influence for me in educating me on where things were and then to where we've progressed to, but still understanding that there's still much work to be done. And it's important for athletes to use that platform in whatever way they feel comfortable. You know, some people do it publicly, other people do it privately. But the important thing is to move the needle.
My favorite activist is Jim Brown. Similar to Bill Russell, has great stories. My favorite photo is Jim Brown, Bill Russell, Kareem, and Muhammad Ali, all sitting in suits, voicing their opinion. I like the way they did it. And again, you know, athletes can use their voice any way they want, but my advice to them is, if you're going to be about it, always be about it. Right. Because if you look at Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell, they started at day one and they continued it until, you know, their last breath. But you know, for me, it was Jim Brown. You know, I love him. And, you know, for me, growing up, knowing who Jim Brown was, for the first time seeing him, he said, hey, Shaq, I love your game. I'm like, wow. The great Jim Brown said he loves my game. So he's my favorite guy.
So we hear much from Shaq. We hear from Kobe there. Let's hear from you guys right now, because along the lines that you guys just went down in terms of, you know, to be about this and be responsible in how you do it. How do you think athletes are handling, I think, what is kind of maybe a brighter spotlight on that stage these days?
Well, it's not for everybody, though, Ernie.
I'm saying. But
everybody can't do it. I think something Kobe said is really important and significant. What you feel comfortable doing. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to do it behind the scenes, do it. But also, I think you have to be really careful because, first of all, especially now, you know, I got a chance to speak to the University of Alabama football team before the season. And I told those young guys this. I says, our lives are different. They didn't ask us, this is right after Charlottesville, they didn't ask me at 18 what my opinion of Charlottesville is. They didn't ask me, what do you think about these NFL players protesting? I would be terrified as an 18-year-old with the computer, all this social media and things like that. So I think we have to be really careful because all these guys are not equipped to handle some of these important, significant issues. And I'm a different now at 54. Me and Kenny both over 50, but he's at North Carolina, I'm at Auburn, asking me, what do you think about what happened in Virginia? I mean, it's just a different time, especially with social media.
I believe so as well. I think the other thing is that the realization that the only way an enemy can really attack you is through confusion. So you have to have a foundation where you're going to land. And I think that's when you're in college and early in your adulthood, you're trying to find your foundation. But once you have your foundation, you don't get wavered by the confusion. The confusion goes all around you, but if you say, oh, I'm going back to my base, and whatever that might be, it might be parental, it might be religious, it might be whatever that base is, you can go back to. That's where you can stand solid and you can stand like that tree and you don't move when you're by that river, Ernie, and you just become more fruitful because you know that you're doing the right thing. And that's okay because I have a foundation, and that's what excellence is about today.
Good stuff. Looking forward to you and Kobe All-Star Weekend with the extended conversation. Back with
What? Hey, okay. Naruto, nine-tail, farso, I feel like a Gucci ad-lib. Burr, go to the Coca-Cola, mascot, polo bird. Put my sauce on lasagna, it can make Garfield purr.